and chair of several House of Commons standing committees, Industry, Science and Technology, Canadian Heritage, Official Languages, and he was recently appointed by Conservative leader Andrew Scheer as the official opposition's shadow minister for infrastructure, communities and urban affairs. Welcome, Mike.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm delighted to be here to commemorate the halfway point in the completion of the new Groves Hospital. In particular, I want to recognize the province of Ontario and Minister McNaughton for their continued support for the construction of this new hospital. Also, I'd like to recognize Ted Arnott, who has tirelessly worked over the last 15 years to advocate for the construction of this hospital. Ted's support for this hospital began over 15 years ago when the new hospital was being proposed, and he has tirelessly, through approaching ministers, moving motions, writing letters, rising in the Ontario legislature, advocated for this hospital. And so Ted, thank you for that continued advocacy, that work over many, many years, over a decade's worth of work that has allowed us to arrive at this point today. I'd also like to recognize the staff, the board, the management at the hospital for their management of this project, for seeing it through. And I'd like to recognize all the volunteers and community support. This hospital, the existing hospital, the new hospital, would not happen without the support of the hundreds and hundreds of volunteers and financial supporters of Groves Memorial Hospital. This community has been blessed by a lot of people who have come out over many, many decades to ensure that this hospital remained viable, who've raised millions, tens of millions of dollars for the operation and construction costs of the existing hospital and the new hospital. So a big shout out to them. Let's give them all a big round of applause, because without those volunteers it just wouldn't happen. Finally, I'd like to say this physical building behind us is just the latest in an iteration of some 147 years of healthcare leadership here in the community. We've got a long, proud tradition of healthcare leadership. In fact, as Ted mentioned, it was Dr. Abraham Groves who in 1871 planted his flag in Fergus, Ontario. He was a recent graduate of the University of Toronto Medical School, and he became a leader in healthcare, in surgery and sterilization techniques. In fact, it was Dr. Abraham Groves that performed the first successful appendectomy in North America, right here in Fergus, Ontario. It was his research and his knowledge of new techniques that allowed that to happen. And in his later years, he established the first hospital in Fergus, the Royal Alexandra Hospital, in 1902. When he passed on in 1935, he gifted that hospital to the people of this community. That hospital was later rebuilt as the existing Groves Memorial Community Hospital. And so today we now have the latest iteration of that, a new Groves Hospital that will continue that some 150 years of healthcare leadership serving this community and beyond. So congratulations to everybody involved in this project, and I look forward to the successful completion of this hospital.